Hello researchers, how are you? I hope you are fine and doing well. In this video, I will be giving you detailed step-by-step demonstration on installing of Red Hat Enterprise Linux, the latest version, that is 7. Now, few days back, Red Hat has announced its latest version, that is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7. So before we go with the download part and the installation part, let us first of all get ourselves aware regarding Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 7. Red Hat Enterprise Linux is regarded as one of the most recognized and trustworthy provider for Linux, and it is done by Red Hat Incorporation. It is based on open source technology and it supports various hardware architectures like Intel, AMD 64-bit, even IBM PowerPC, IBM System Z. Now, if we talk of this chart, the foundation for open hybrid cloud architectures is done by Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7. 90% of Fortune 500 companies run Red Hat Enterprise Linux. 80% of the top public clouds run on Linux. 74.7% of the market share revenue for new Linux operating system license shipments subscriptions in 2012 was earned by Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So you can say almost 3/4 of the market share of Linux is with Red Hat Enterprise Linux. 65.4% of paid worldwide Linux operating system new license shipments in 2012 were Red Hat Enterprise Linux. 62% of the surveyed IT organizations plan to deploy Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 within 6 months. So believe me, Red Hat certifications and Red Hat professionals are in huge demand in all over the parts of the planet. Now, if we talk of lightweight application isolation via Linux containers, containers enables continuous delivery. Containers in RHEL 7 supports both host containers, that is identical container, image-based container, that is non-identical containers. Now, if we talk of this diagram, you can see we are having two host containers, that is one is host container and second is called the image-based container, and it is contained with Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 container host. And below that it is Linux kernel, and the last but not the least, we have the hardware, we have the virtual machine, and we have the cloud support. Now, talking of the file system, we know that most of the Linux distributions today support ext4, but ext4 has a limitation of 50 terabytes. But in Linux, that is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7, it is having XFS file system, which is having the size which is supported up to 500 terabytes. So you can say, if we talk of the three most file system, we have the XFS, which is most recommended, default file system for RHEL 7, best performance, and 500 TB of hard disk drive is supported. ext4, again we say that it is recommended now, standard file system for RHEL 6, but now RHEL 6 is outdated, very robust and reliable, and size is 50 terabytes. But the new file system which is upcoming and it is under the intensive development is BTFS or BRTFS, useful for local large-scale use cases and includes basic volume management and snapshot support. Now, easily create custom installed images. Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 introduces ability to create, install, and manage custom images for physical deployment, virtual deployment, and cloud deployment. So you can say we have again the Anaconda, which is used to install the Linux, and we can even do the kickstart installation of RHEL 7. Now, if we talk of various features, it is having a very good network manager which eliminates the need to manually configure network files. Flexible interface options with GUI, NMCLI, NMTUI for managing local and remote file systems. And if we talk of the security features, again we have the SE Linux and firewall services Firewall LD. Unified Firewall Management Service for IPv4, IPv6, and even the Ethernet bridges, that is EB tables. Now, if we talk of the Red Hat Enterprise Linux as virtualization host, it is having the kernel-based virtualization machine, inbuilt virtualization software integrated with Linux kernel and can interact directly with the kernel. So again, a useful advantage towards virtualization as well as the futuristic called the cloud computing. So if we talk of this desktop, we have the Genome 3, the latest desktop, and you can see a very good interface of desktop over here. And if we talk of this, it is having the Genome shell. You can see having the cool interface like Windows 10 or Vista based interfaces. So elegant and intuitive user interface, focus on end user productivity, a recommended one. And again we have the KDE, that is version 4.10, an alternative to Genome for users who prefer KDE, that is called the K desktop environment. So this is all about the basic introduction towards Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Now we come to the second part of this video on how to download Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So make it sure that it is not fully paid, fully free, or I can say fully paid also. So because you have to pay the subscription price, because it's a refined Linux, it is a commercial product of Linux, so you have to pay. So this is called the main website, that is called redhat.com. So if you come downstairs, it's a very cool website. You can find products and services. So now I will tell you how to download Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 so that we can start with the installation. So I click on the Linux platforms. Now you can find the words leading enterprise Linux platform is Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So come down. So you can find the products over here. So click on Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So now you can click on this download, and you can click on download now. So the next part is to make a login. So as I've already logged in, so make it sure that you don't have any Yahoo or Gmail. So it only supports the official email ID. So you can see that there is a Red Hat Enterprise Linux server, Red Hat Atomic Host, Red Hat Beta, Red Hat Enterprise Linux Atomic Host Beta. So I click on Red Hat Enterprise Linux. The version is 7.2. You can even download the other versions also. So 7.2 is the latest. So I will prefer to download 64-bit. So you can just go over there and you can click on this download now. It is about 3.77 GB. So you have to download RHEL 7.2 binary DVD. And if you want to know more about Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7.2, so here is a PDF file. I will providing the link of this link over there in the below of this video. You can find everything from features, what's new in Red Hat Enterprise Linux, what are the cool features, what are the other you can say characteristics of Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7. And believe me, it is the most advanced and the most customizable Linux ever made by Red Hat Corporation. So let's start with the third part. In this you can find that I have already downloaded, that is the ISO image. So it is about a 3.48 GB. So let us go and start the Oracle VirtualBox. So I double click Oracle VirtualBox. Now I click on new and I go with Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 OS. So you can find that type is Linux and version is Red Hat 64-bit. It is okay for us. So click on next. So I allocate 2 GB of RAM. So I recommend to allocate more than 2 GB, but 2 GB should be the base, because in 1 GB you will not find a rich experience, or you can say find some lags in installation. So click on next, click on create, click on next, next. So I recommend to allocate at least I recommend that is 20 GB of hard disk drive, because you can be able to install the repositories. You can make this as a DHCP server, a DNS server, a Postfix mail server. So lots and lots of servers are there. So we will be using much hard disk bytes. So recommend is 20 GB or maybe 25 GB. It is okay for you. So click on create. And now you can see that the machine is there. So what you have to do is to right click over this machine, click on settings. So what I recommend is click on network, and I recommend to have it the bridged adapter, so that we can be able to serve the internet and we can be able to ping between the host machine and the guest machine, that is between my Windows 10 over here and within the Red Hat Enterprise Linux, so that we can able to configure Samba server in the future coming sessions. So click on OK, and now we click on start. So now we have to provide the DVD. So click on this browse button. So let us come to desktop, that is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7. So click on this link, that is ISO DVD. So click on open. It's about a 3.49 GB, as I've already told you before. So click on start and click on view full screen mode. So now you can see that a cool interface has come, and the entire interface of installation and the opening thing is already been changed. So Red Hat is taking the good interface like Kali Linux or Fedora Linux. So let us click on this install Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 7, the first option, and press enter. So now you can see that the Linux has started booting up the basic files. So it is starting the installer. So again we have the Anaconda. So let's see the opening interface of the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 is one of the coolest installation which I have ever made. So I click on English and I click on English India. So click on continue. So now you can see that there is a main installation summary. So be very careful when you enter this page. So the first option is called date and time, that is Asia Kolkata, which I am living over here. Keyboard is English India, language support is English, and installation media will be local media. But click on this software installation. So I recommend to click on server with GUI, because if you click on minimum installation, it will be only landing you with a command prompt. So if you want to have a GNOME installation or with other servers, etc., so click on server with GUI and I click on done. So the next step is to click on the installation destination. Click on this. So we have a 20 GB of hard disk drive, so click on done. So now you can see that the automatic partitioning has been selected, and if you are a professional user, if you are an experienced user, you can even do the manual installation with SWAMP, first of all with 2x RAM, with second part is /boot with 100 MB and / as rest of the hard disk drive space. So I click on begin installation. So click on this root password. So I just give the root password and click on done. So ignore if you have a warning message of any weak password, etc. So there is no need to worry about. So till it installs, let me pause the video for some time. It will take the same steps as we have in Fedora. So I will returning back when it will be almost on the finished part of installation. So now we are almost on the verge of completion of our installation. As you can see that almost 1189 packages were there, and we have already installed 1100 packages. So it's just a matter of 1 or 2 minutes more. We will be completing the installation part, and then we will be going towards the post installation part. So approximately Red Hat Enterprise Linux will take about 7 to 10 minutes to install, because it's somewhat a heavy distribution. It is having the latest packages, and it is more stable as compared to other operating systems in Linux versions. And I can say that the interface has already been transformed, and it matches very closely to Fedora, to CentOS, and even to that is somewhat about you can say Kali Linux also. So let's see what Red Hat packs for us after installation. So almost 1150 packages are installed, and we just take 1 minute more for the post installation packages. Till that we have to wait. So if you want to know more about Red Hat regarding some documentations, white papers, you can visit this website, which you can see over here, that is access.redhat.com. So everything you need to help plan, deploy, maintain, etc., etc. So all over is there. So now you can see that the installation part has been done, and Red Hat is now performing the post installation setup tasks. And Red Hat packs you can say much for developers also. So if you are a systems administrator for Windows side, I recommend that you have a good hands-on on Red Hat, and you can even clear that is Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator, Red Hat Certified Systems Engineer like paper for that. So if you want to create another user apart from root, you can click over here. Otherwise, you can create with user add command into Linux. So it will take some time. So you can say that Red Hat Enterprise Linux also has a developer program, as you can see on the screen. And you can, if you are a good programmer with having good sharp skills towards C and C++, you can join the developer program, and you can contribute your codes, your source of code for Red Hat. So it is taking some more time. So that's why I recommend that at least 2 GB more RAM can do, but that we have to test. So I can say that the overall experience which Red Hat has packed for us in Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 is much easy. It can be even installed by novice user, and the packages are very good. Latest genomes desktop is going to be, latest KDE desktop is going to be, and let us see some more features when we explore the desktop after installation. So I don't think so that will take much more time now. It can finish anytime. And after post installation, we have to reboot the system. so that we can perform the next steps of Red Hat installation. And for all my channel subscribers, I would like to tell you that in the coming sessions of my videos, I'll be also covering OpenShift also. So now you can see that it is installing the bootloader, that is a grub bootloader, that is Grand Unified Bootloader, and it is configuring the install system, generating initram fs, which we already see into various distributions like Linux, like Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Deepin Linux, CentOS. Every Linux has followed the same steps. So Red Hat and you can say Google, Oracle based giants are investing much more towards the cloud computing. So in the coming videos, we will be also exploring the cloud computing over Red Hat. So now you can see that Red Hat Enterprise Linux is now successfully installed onto your system and ready to use for Go. So click on reboot. So now you can see that it is terminated, and let's wait for restart. So now you can see that Red Hat Enterprise Linux with Linux 3.10.0 123.el7.x8664 has been installed. So let's press enter. Let's wait for Linux to start. So now you can see that Linux is booting. So same interface which we have into CentOS 7. We have into RHEL 7 also. So I think so that some steps will be taken for post installation, and then we will be ready to fire the Genome desktop, the Genome 3 desktop. So now you can see that the license information, so click on this license not accepted. So click on I agree the license agreement. So click on done, and now click on finish configuration. Because it's a commercial product, we have to accept the license. It's a licensed product. And if you are into COP, so click on you can say KDump. So I don't require the enable KDump. So click on this enable KDump, so that check off it. So click on forward. So click on yes. So I don't prefer to register right now because I'm a free subscriber. So I click on no. I prefer to register at a later time. But you can do it with the command that is rhn_register on the terminal. Click on finish and click on OK, and now we have the final boot. And after the final boot, we will be logging with the root, and we will be going towards the main desktop. And let's explore the desktop after that. We go with the last part of the video, in which we will be exploring the Genome desktop, the latest desktop. So press enter for this. So I think so that Red Hat Enterprise Linux is somewhat faster as compared to Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6. Let's wait what's happening. So it will take some time when it first of all takes some installation boot, but when you install it, when you start using it, it will be much faster. So now you can see that the main interface has come, which has selected with the language, that is English India. So I just have to wait so that the complete boot can be there. So I click on next. Okay, so I click on next. So same CentOS like experience. It can show some lag in the beginning, but after everything has been configured, it will be running very smoothly. So India with rupee sign, it is okay. So click on next. So now I have to create a local account. So let me give my full name. With username Anand Nair has already been come. So let me give the password, and let me click on next. So the location would be Asia, Kolkata. It is good for us. So click on next, and now you can see that the computer is ready to use. So start using Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 server. So with this, we can see that everything has gone fine, fit and fine. Yes. So first of all, let me activate the network. I click on this and I click on. So I close this. If I click on this open terminal, so let me have the IP address. So IP address is 192.168.1.103. So let me ping Google. Yes, the internet is working fine. So if I click on applications, you can find a very cool interface with Firefox browser, with files, with documents. Let us click on this documents. So no documents are found. So I close it. So what is over there? That is help. So terminal and your applications. So click on show applications. You can find all the frequent applications, and you click on all. You can find everything over here with the software, with system monitor, with utilities, with videos, weather. So different things are there. Very cool interface which I've got. So again, you can click on applications. You can find accessories, documentation, internet, sound and video, sundry, with a firewall, with automatic bug reporting tool, network connections, print settings, SE Linux. And on the system tools, you can click on this settings. You can go to this control panel like that. And if you click on utilities, you can find all the utilities over here. Dictionary, desk, document viewer, terminal, tweak tool, etc. So click on places. You can find a very cool interface like we have in the Kali Linux. So if you click on this logout, you can click on logout. So let us log in with root also. Let's see what root packs for us. So I click on not listed. So let me type root and let me give the password, which I have set it during the installation. So you can say that everything goes smoothly. So whenever you create a user and login, you have to mention for this screen. So click on next and start using Red Hat Enterprise Linux Server. So again, I can say that a cool interface which has been done by Red Hat. Very nice work which has been done. So some problems may be there, but we have to ignore those problems. So this is about a brief tour about Red Hat Enterprise Linux desktop. So in this video, I have told you brief regarding Red Hat Enterprise Linux, how to download Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7, how to install Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 on VirtualBox, and something about the exploration of the GNOME desktop, that is a GNOME 3 desktop. So in the coming videos, I will be making this as a server, giving you more commands, giving you more awareness regarding this distribution. So I hope you like this video. So do share with your friends. Do like this video. Thank you so much for watching.